Hello, folks. Welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. This is Chris in central Pennsylvania. The African National Congress continues to walk on the wrong side of a thin line, shedding support like viral particles to Jacob Zuma and his vanity project, the ironically named Mkhonto we Sizwe Party. Talk about cultural appropriation.
Welcome back once again. This is Chris Report, and he assured me that since I'm in town in Boulders, folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa.
President Cyril Ramaphosa needs to curb his attack dog, Fikile Mbulula, lest he risk alienating ever more ANC supporters. Abandoned by big cash donors, collapsing first in the 2021 municipal elections and then in the 2024 national elections, where support cratered by a shocking 17 points from 57 to 40% of the electorate, the ANC continues its downward trajectory as we enter 2025. Even the near daily fawning puff pizzas in legacy media houses have begun to evaporate since September 2024. To add to these woes of a party that claims to be revitalizing, whatever that means, the ANC's mouthpiece keeps sticking his oversized foot into his even larger mouth. Now, Fikile Mbulula says Tony Yengeni will be charged for comments made against the ANC. Now, folks, don't get me wrong. I have no respect for Tony Yengeni, nor any sympathy, and I relish seeing a political party that betrayed the liberation movement for self-enrichment and using race to divide South Africa. In fact, the ANC is providing useful lessons in how to implode a political juggernaut. Speaking at a briefing on Monday, January 6, 2025, in Khayelitsha about the ANC's preparations for its 113th birthday celebrations over the weekend, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbulula said that those bringing the ANC into disrepute will be disciplined. Really? What about Ace Magashule, Zweli Mkhize, Cyril Ramaphosa, Paul Mashatile, Zandile Gumeda? Shall we continue this list of rogues gallery? Mbulula said, I've seen other people on X every day tweeting things that bring the ANC into disrepute. They too will be attended very soon. There's nothing wrong with raising views and raising ideas to attack the organization, cast aspirations on the side of the leadership of the ANC. That will not be tolerated. We will discipline them, and we are aware that some provinces have decided to ignore ill discipline. The time to talk and not discipline people who bring the organization into disrepute is over. Wow. Now, he went on to say rather colorful comments. I'm saying it deliberately that Tony Yengeni is a political Casanova. He's an ill-disciplined member of the ANC, always tweets and supports everything about Mkhonto we Sizwe. He thinks he's a law unto himself. We will never allow that. Disrepute. Let's talk about disrepute. What did the convicted criminal Tony Yengeni do to bring the ANC into disrepute? Was it his corruption, his conviction for fraud and a sweetheart deal that the African National Congress gifted him to avoid real jail time by taking the fall for Jacob Zuma? Arrested in October of 2001 for the ANC's crooked arms deal, he accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to 4 years in jail in March of 2003, which he appealed. He accepted the criminal conviction, said he was guilty, and then appealed that he said he was guilty. Actually, he was probably appealing the length of the sentence. The guy took a plea bargain and then tried to appeal it. He finally did go to jail, but he served just 4 months of a 4-year sentence. Rewarded for taking the fall for Jacob Zuma, Yengeni was reelected to the African National Congress's National Executive Committee, listing 21st on an 80-member list. This is a political party with zero shame. Arrested in November 2007 for drunk driving, Tony Yengeni miraculously avoided jail time after Goodwood Station Commander, it's no joke, that's the actual name of the place in Cape Town, Goodwood Station Commander Safio Hawana allegedly gave an unknown person access to the blood sample. Now, we should mention that on November 30th of 2009, in connection with this episode, Hawana was convicted of attempting to defeat the ends of justice. Well, the luck of the Irish, no, for Tony Yengeni. But drunk drivers are repeat offenders. Yengeni was arrested for drunk driving again on the 12th of August 2013, this time in Greenpoint, and he was convicted in March of 2017, 4 years later. Now, never mind the cruelty to animals allegation against him. After all, like Julius Malema, that's just his culture. So what has the convicted fraudster, drunk driving Tony Yengeni done to set Fikile Mbulula off? I mean, it wasn't his criminal conduct, his felony conviction, his prison time, his drunk driving on a couple occasions, his slaughtering of a bull in a cruel fashion. None of that brought the ANC into disrepute. What has he done What has he done? Well, over the weekend, in his latest post, Tony Yengeni questioned the capacity of the stadium Kailicha that will host the ANC celebrations at the weekend. What? He questioned the size of the stadium? Oh, boy, that's a pretty shocking thing to say about the ANC. Now, Mbulula claimed the facility, both fields together, would accommodate 22,000 people. But the capacity, as widely reported in the press and confirmed by the city of Cape Town, for the stadium is just 2,000 people. Perhaps he's talking about people standing on the pitch. So telling the truth puts one into disrepute with the African National Congress. Well, that explains a lot about the past 6 years under Cyril Ramaphosa. Pala pala. Now, feeling as though it's Mbulula also chose the occasion to point out that the former deputy chairperson of the International Relations Subcommittee, Obed Bapela, would also be hauled before the disciplinary committee, and his membership could be suspended or expelled. And I believe that has to do with the trip recently to Morocco. Ladies and gentlemen, Fikile Mbulula is an attack dog who doesn't know when to attack and shut his mouth. The ANC is killing itself, and I'm loving it. Just like McDonald's, I'm loving it. This is an abject lesson, or an object lesson, not an abject, but an object lesson into how to destroy a ruling political party. And we've seen this in the past, in the U.S., in the United Kingdom, and around the world. Political parties who seem to have total control just let it go to their head, and they get out of control. So, the ANC imploding, not hurt my feelings. Tony Yengeni shows this image on Twitter, and that's why he calls the party in disrepute, simply stating the obvious. But I guess when you're a member of a political party in South Africa, you can't tell the truth. You just have to tell the people what the party tells you to tell them. What say you, South Africa? Happy New Year.